Hi and welcome to this week's edition of Bitrix24 Live. My name is Andy and I am the support manager here at Gold Partners Interface. So a little bit about us first. As I mentioned, we are Gold Partners of Bitrix24. We have an office in the US, in the UK, and also in the UAE, and we offer a whole range of different services from pre-sale support. So if you've got any questions or queries with regards to Bitrix, then we can answer those and ensure Bitrix is the perfect fit for your business. We also offer licensing. We offer implementation and installation services. So if you're wanting to implement Bitrix into your business, then we can certainly assist with that. And then we also offer premium support services. So we offer ticketing and telephone support as well. And that is for all versions of Bitrix24. So Bitrix24 Live we do every Thursday at 10 AM Eastern Time, and essentially it's an hour of free support where we can answer any question with regards to Bitrix. So whether you're using a cloud account or you're using an on-premise account, then we can answer the questions live on screen. Usually each week we start with the questions that we receive during the week, and if you do have any questions throughout the week, please do send them to sales@interface.com and we can answer those questions at the start of each session. So we do have some questions that have come through. If I just go into our Bitrix24, I do have an on-premise version of Bitrix here, and I also have an cloud version as well. So no matter what version of Bitrix you're using, then we can show you live on screen. So I've got, the first question that we've got through, will Bitrix work on a static WordPress site or does it require PHP? So this is with regards to Bitrix24 CRM forms. So the CRM forms that Bitrix provide will embed on any website that you are working with. So you can see in here, if I go into the CRM, into CRM forms, then you essentially, once you've created a CRM form, you get an embed code. That embed code is just a script. You might need to, for a WordPress site, you might need to just download a plugin that allows you to embed code into a particular page. There are many on WordPress, so it'd be quite straightforward to just download one of those plugins and use this code to embed into it. So that's quite straightforward. Can you explain how the extranet site works? Is it just for external clients to use? So yeah, certainly. So Bitrix comes with an intranet, so that's for all your employees, and that's what your licenses are based on, so your intranet users. But it also comes with, for the commercial packages, so the standard cloud and the professional cloud, as well as all on-premises, then it does come with an extranet. So you can see here we've got a link in our left-hand menu. I'm on a cloud version here. If I click on the extranet link, then you will be able to see that we go to essentially what is a slimmed down version of Bitrix. So you can see on the left-hand menu, we only can see our external work groups that we are a member of. So the extranet works in a way, if I just jump back to our intranet and let's go into work groups and click on create, you'll be able to see that we can create external work groups here, or we can create an external project here. And if we were to create an external work group, so it might be that, for example, you might create an external work group for a client. So it might be that Intraface is your client. So we would say Intraface here. We would invite our employees to the work group, but we would also invite our client themselves. So I might want to invite Damien Intraface.com to this external work group. Now, when we do so, Damien will receive an email with this message inside the email. There'll be a link in that email that he receives. He'll click on it, it'll direct him to your Bitrix24 extranet, and then he'll just be required to register that information, like passwords and a little bit more information about who he is. Once he's done so, he'll click in and he'll be logged into the extranet, and he'll get access to all of the features inside your external work group. So you can see here Buzzco, it's in a golden colour with a little globe icon. This is an external work group. If I click into here, then your external users who you invite into this particular work group will have access to all of the different modules, and it is really a great tool because you can not only involve them in particular tasks, you can also give them access to documents within this work group space, but you can also chat with them. So you can see in here, and based on that chat, we can have video and voice call chats with them inside this particular work group space. So that is a fantastic way of communicating with your clients inside Bitrix. Bitrix do allow you to have an unlimited amount of extranet users without any additional cost. So your extranet users are free. So if you're wanting to invite external users in, then there's no charge whatsoever for that. People not only invite their clients in for discussions and projects, but you can also invite things like contractors in or any external agencies that you work with. They will only ever have access to the features that are inside this particular work group. They will not have access to any other work group that they're not invited to. They won't see any other work group that they're not a member of. It literally is just this work group and everything that you granted permissions for them to see inside this space. So it definitely is a good way if you're wanting to invite your external users into Bitrix. So let's see if we've got some more questions. Please do put your questions in the box on here. We've got, are there different levels of administrator access in Bitrix? So essentially there's not different levels in terms of system access. When we've covered this, I think, in last week's session as well, and it is quite a common question. If we go into the employees tab here, we go into employees and we go into a user profile, then we can make an admin of that particular user in here. Got a question, do you have Twitter integration? So we don't have Twitter integration in the cloud. So in here we just have the integrations that you'll be able to see inside the contact center. So we've got Facebook, Instagram, the likes of that. There is, if we go into the on-premise version and click into the control panel. So I've got an on-premise version here open too, just in case we get any questions with regards to the on-premise. And this particular version has what we call the control panel, and it gives you access to essentially all the settings and features and module configs inside here. But you also have additional features on the on-premise version, like the help desk. You have e-learning, you can have system mailboxes and perform rules on that. So it is a little bit different. But with regards to the Twitter integration, there is an integration with Twitter in here, and it allows you to pull specific hashtagged relay users tweet with the hashtag B24. So what you can do here is you can connect to Twitter. You'll need to put in the application ID, application password and secret. And then if the user then connects their Twitter account to their Bitrix account, which you can do on the front end, then it will check to see every tweet that they send. If they include the B24 hashtag, then it will post it to the activity stream. So it's quite a good way of getting your employees engaged inside Bitrix by posting out on Twitter using a specific hashtag. Now this is the default one that comes with Bitrix, but obviously you can change that to a more relative one towards your business. So Twitter is available in the on-premise. Got a question, is there a way to see the employees' workload for resource planning? I know their involvement reports on projects afterwards. What I mean is to be able to see planned tasks for the next week and month. So, I mean, Bitrix does have if we go into tasks and look at the involvement, that should be able to give you quite a, if I zoom out in here, I don't think we've got too many tasks. But you can see in here, for example, we have clicked into involvement. We're currently on any task by all departments. You can drill down into a specific department of your company structure, or you can actually look at for specific employees, and you can set a date range. But this will allow you to see your employees' workload. So you can see here Katie and Jack are currently working on this particular task. So you can start to see where your users are working on tasks. One thing to point out with this is you do need to put, when you create a task, you would need to be putting start and end dates on tasks. So if I was to add a new task here, I'll just explain what I mean. Is if I was to say, this is going to be, I don't know, logo design. Ooh. And then in our time planning, click on time planning here. You might have a deadline, let's say, for example, tomorrow, let's say 11 a.m. But you might actually want to start that at 9 a.m. and it's going to take 2 hours. It will preset our 11 a.m. I would tend to always try and match the deadline with the finish time. Once we add that, then what it will show within here is that if I was to scroll out here now and open up, I'm not sure who I set that one for, to be honest, but we would be able to see, let me just see if I can refresh here. There we go. So just needed to refresh. But you can see in here, this is the task that I've just set based on the start and end time. Now I only put 2 hours, so you could be able, what I would probably recommend doing is zooming in a little bit, and then we can see on the 24th. There we go. So you can zoom in and out. I only put 2 hours. If it's over the days, then you can see. But with this method, you can see straight from this particular graph what and when people are working. So you know how to allocate your workload based on this. So that's what I would recommend. Is there a way to sync CRM contacts with Android? I think let's have a look at the ways of. I don't believe there is. Let me just double check though in here. So those are the only ways of connecting to, like, for example, importing and exporting your data out of the CRM. There's no way at the moment to be able to sync your CRM contacts with Android. So yeah, no, not at the moment, unfortunately. Let me just check, see, we do have some other questions that have come in. Quite a common question. Does Bitrix provide email hosting? They don't provide that. Bitrix don't provide you with an email address. You would need to have an email of your own. So you would need an email address of your own to be able to connect it up into Bitrix. They wouldn't provide you with one. But there are many ways. We've covered emails quite a lot in these sessions. But if you've got one of the following tools, Gmail, Outlook, that have your email, then you can connect any one of those up. IMAP is the additional one, so you can actually plug in your IMAP settings on here. We had this question come through during the week as well, just with regards to they've seen the ability to book absence on Bitrix. How does the absence chart work? So if you're on one of the commercial packages of Bitrix, then under the More section and in Workflow, you will have the Leave Approval workflow. If you don't see any in here at the moment, all you need to do, click into Workflow directory and then click on the Install. So you can see here, Leave Approval. I can then click on Install and it will then be available under the More, Workflow and Leave Approval here. So this allows you to, because it's a pre-built form, it allows you to submit a start date. And if we said to the 1st, it allows you to submit absence type, and then we could put vacation. Upload the documents is a required field, so I'm not sure what documents we've got on here, but we can page 1 PDF. And then if we wanted to, we can select approver, which we've got on this case, just to show you how this particular process works. So once this gets submitted, I'm just waiting for that to upload, then your request will be sent to the approver. So that can be a supervisor sent automatically. It can be a member of the HR team, however you wish. And you can see, because I selected myself just to show you how this works, you get a workflow request. So you can see here, it's come on the activity stream, but you also see on the widget on the right hand side that we have 4 current pending workflows. And you can see in here, I think this is the one, so we've got Leave Approval. That's generally what it looks like. If we click on Start, I can then click on Select Approver. Again, this is just to show you really how the process works. So this would go directly to somebody. This is the one I selected, the 27th of April to the 1st of May. And then you can see here, I've got an approve or deny. All the information that I put in here was from the form, and you can tailor the form to capture any information that you wish. If I click on approve, then what will happen is if I go into the time and report section, you'll be able to see it would go into here based on the workflow. So if I go into the workflow here, just to give you a little bit of background of what process was run then. So click into workflows in activity stream, and go to the leave approval. Click into here, click into configure workflows, click into the leave workflow request, and you can see once the form gets submitted, the additional information is asking who the approver is in our case. Once we have provided that, then it flows down, goes into a approval block. If it gets approved, the status gets marked to approved. If it gets rejected, status gets marked to rejected. And then we check that. So rejected is notify the employee. Approved is notify the employee and add it to the absence chart. So this is a default one that comes with Bitrix. I would recommend installing it if you have a commercial package. Then you can tweak and tailor this however you wish. It's a great way of being able to record absences and holiday requests inside Bitrix. Apart from, I've got another question that's come through on YouTube. Apart from assigning a start and end date to a project, is there any other functional differences between a work group and a project? Essentially not. The only differences is the language used in a project in a work group. So in a work group here, let's click into work groups and go into a project. If we go into the general tab here, you can see it says things like project owner, project assistants. So that terminology is obviously used in a project rather than a work group. The other thing is by default, when you create a project, it puts the tasks as the home page of the project group. You can tweak your own menu in a work group, but in a project group you just have tasks at the beginning here. But other than that, the start and end date is obviously quite important on a project, and the work group doesn't have that, like you said. But you can still use all the same features inside both. We try and use work groups for departments, events, collaborative spaces that you need to discuss things with, and then obviously project is more task orientated. I got the next question: how to transfer data to a segment. So I think if you're talking about segments with regards to CRM marketing, what I would always recommend doing as a start point is going into your CRM first, and then finding the mailing list that you want to create. So if I was to do it inside, let's just do it inside leads, for example. In fact, let's do it inside companies. And what I can do here is I essentially use the filter at the top to filter out the mailing list I want to create. So contact types, I might want to say suppliers and general contacts. The good way of doing it this way, starting at the CRM first, is you can use this filter to filter out any information that you want. So any custom fields that you've created, you can use to create your mailing list. Once you've put the criteria in here, click on search. So that's now pulled up for contacts. Click on the checkbox at the top to select them all. If you have multiple pages, so at the moment this page only shows 20 records, so if you had 10 pages, so if you had 200 contacts that the list was creating, you would just need to make sure that you click on for all here, and that just means that it will also include the contacts on the other pages on here as well. So it's not really relevant for ours because we've only got 4 contacts. But if you had 200, you would need to press that. And then all you do to add these to create a new segment is click on select action, and then you can see here add to segment. And we can either add it to an existing one we have already, or we can create a new one. So if I create a new one, click on apply, you can see up the top It's now created a segment called Contact Segment April the 23rd. I can go into CRM Marketing here, click into Segments, and the one we've just created is at the top here, Contact Segment April 23rd. So you can see in here, probably want to rename it at the top. So we could say General Contacts and Suppliers. Click on Save. And you can see here that it's got 7 email addresses and 5 phone numbers. The reason why it shows you that, it just then allows you to ensure that you can send it to, you can create an email campaign. Obviously, if it said 0 emails, you wouldn't be able to create an email campaign from it. Once you're happy with that segment, you can go in here, click on Create Campaign, Email Campaign. We can select a template maybe that we've already got. So we could use our post-webinar template here. And then all you need to do is select Segment, My Segments, and we'll be able to see the General Contacts and Suppliers segment we've just created directly from the CRM. So you can see, because this is an email campaign, we have 7 recipients in here. And that's how you would transfer data to a CRM marketing segment from the CRM. So hopefully that helps explain how you get that mailing list inside the marketing tool. I've got a question. Is there a way to book resources? For instance, a task may require reserving a meeting room or reserving a microphone and or a project to be taken from the company inventory. I guess if you're talking, I completely understand what you're asking for. I guess there isn't in a way that you can book a piece of equipment out, unfortunately. The only option that Bitrix provides you in terms of using them in the tasks or the calendar would be to book a meeting room. So that's the only option. You can have a calendar for a meeting room, for example. So if I was to go into here, click on Add Event, and in our location we have conference room A, but I could create conference room B, C. So I suppose if you only had one microphone you could use this, but I guess you're not going to have that. And if we said location is A and B, once we click on conference room B, it actually shows you when it's been booked out. So if I switch that to conference room A, there's not too many bookings in conference room A, but you can see what you can do. It just pulls in sort of like another attendee inside the calendar itself. There's no way of booking a resource in here. The only other book a resource tool that you've got is in the leads module, where you can book, for example, time slots for training, for example, and that can go against a trainer's personal calendar inside the CRM. And you can use those in CRM forms and things like that. But at the moment, unfortunately, there isn't any way of booking particular resources for projectors or microphones as such. I'll just put our contact details up on here for those of you that maybe missed the start. As I said at the beginning, my name is Andy and I'm the support manager here at Intraface. We're gold partners of Bitrix24 and we have offices in the US, in the UK and in the UAE, in Dubai. And we offer a whole range of different services, from pre-sale support. So if you're wanting to use Bitrix for your business, not sure how, then we can offer our services to ensure Bitrix is the right fit for your business. We also offer licenses, implementation and installation services, and also pre-sales, also premium support. So if you are interested in Bitrix or having any problems, do please get in touch with us. We can help you out. We have these Bitrix24 live sessions every Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and it's it's just any questions. I can answer any questions that you've got with Bitrix. So take of it as like an hour's free support that I can instantly answer your questions. If you do have any questions that come through during the week, drop them to sales@intraface.com and we can start each session off with those particular questions. Everything's recorded, so if you have asked a question in the week and you feel that I may have missed it, I probably haven't. They might, because we start off each session with those questions, so you can always look back on the recordings and find the answer to your question. We generally don't miss any question that we receive. Even if we can't answer it, we try and do a little bit of research beforehand and we can answer those. I've got a question about the mobile app. I haven't got the mobile app actually connected up to this session live. Maybe on the next session on Thursday I can connect my mobile up. The question was with regards to uploading images to the CRM. And absolutely you can do that. So if you've got maybe a custom field inside your lead, for example, and that custom field is a file, so you can have custom fields for files here. Maybe it was, let's have proposal, click on save. What you can do then on your mobile app, you can go into the lead, you'd be able to click into here, click on add file, and you'd be able to upload a file directly from your phone into Bitrix. So it would just mean that you would have to have the file on your phone. A lot of people obviously take pictures whilst they're out on site. Again, that's another great way of getting files from your phone into Bitrix. You can add them directly into the document drive on Bitrix as well. So Bitrix has a document drive here, and you can directly upload those from your phone into Bitrix. I had a question about Bitrix telephony. Is there an extra cost if you want to record your calls? Absolutely not. I mean, if you're renting a number from Bitrix, so if we go into here and then so on premise, if we go into our telephony here, then there are different options. I think we spoke about telephony quite a few times on these sessions, but you can rent a number quickly and easily from Bitrix. It's not very expensive to do so. I think it's around about $6 a month should you want to rent a number. And then you can decide what you want to do with those numbers. Let me see if we've got a number connected up on our cloud site. I'm not sure if we have. But you can then, once you've connected a number up, so if we go into this one, for example, click on configure here and configure, there is then the option of recording your calls. So you can save recordings of all calls. You don't have to if you don't want to. Click on here, and once every call is recorded, you'll be able to find it in the call details log. There is no extra cost for recording calls. And you'll be able to see, I don't know if we've got any in here. We don't, but you can see the record column in here. You would just be able to play it back. You would be able to download it. And furthermore, it actually shows in the CRM contact as well. So that's a good thing about having Bitrix telephony connected up, is that if, for example, a particular contact was to call from this number, let me just bring that column up, this particular number here, then it would pop up with the contact's calling card. It would say Bob Naylor is calling, and then it would store the call recording on the activity stream here, which is a great way of being able to see the communication history for a particular contact. The same is if the number is associated to a contact or a company or a lead, the calling card would pop up inside the screen. So if I was to click on this, it essentially pops up like that. So we don't have telephony connected up on this one currently, but the calling card looks like this. It would have the person's name, and if they've ever had if they've got an outstanding deal, the actual deal information also pops up for on the calling card as well. So it's really handy when somebody rings up. You know already who it is, what currently is outstanding for that particular contact. So yeah, it's really powerful, and I'd recommend if you're wanting to use Bitrix for telephony, I would definitely recommend it. It's a great, easy tool to be using. Got a question come through. In the case of audio and video files added as custom fields, it would be fantastic to have them to play with an inline player instead of downloading the file and opening. Yeah, that's quite it would be really useful. I agree. Unfortunately, on these custom fields, we can't do that yet. But let's put a request in to Bitrix for that feature, because yeah, I can completely understand why you would want to be able to play it internally inside Bitrix. I think the only way you can do that at the moment is on the activity stream. If you were to embed a video, you can also record, can't you, on the activity stream? But in terms of these custom fields, yeah, it would be great to have maybe an embed code. So yeah, let's put that request to Bitrix. Bitrix are always looking at ways of evolving the system. It's a fantastic tool that keeps on adding new features, and it's users like yourselves and the whole Bitrix community always are wanting additional features, and that's how it grows. So getting this kind of information is great for growing and expanding the features on Bitrix. We've got a question, another question that came through, and it's quite a common question really. Is there a way to link the CRM with the work groups? Now, as such, there are a couple of different ways that you can do this, but as such, the work groups in Bitrix and the CRM are essentially standalone modules, and there are a couple of ways of being able to link them. You can obviously hyperlink them, so if we wanted to go into a particular project, so let's just open this in a new tab here, we can copy this. So I just wanted to copy the URL here. So if I wanted to put a work group, I could create a link here, and we could call it work group. So I just wanted to show you all the different options. Click on paste, and we could then, so that's one option that you could do. You click on here, then it would take us to the particular project. So that's one. The next one was something that I actually, so we could call this here, and we could call this client project. And again, we could paste this in here and click on save, and then click send. And what we can do, let's get rid of some of these planned activities in here. You can see that comment that I've just made a moment ago has been pushed down a little bit because of all the activity. So what you can do on this activity stream is essentially pin it to the top. So you can see that I've now pinned that comment, and that comment will always appear pinned, and it will appear pinned to everybody that comes into this particular contact. So it's a good way of, obviously, not just for this, but you can see it does the same thing. And the good way of doing it this way is that it's a little, you can write whatever you want the link to be. The pinning is a great tool if you've got special notes for a particular client that you don't want to store inside a custom field, then pinning it is a great way of being able to do it. You can also see, just whilst we're in here, it's a little bit, I know it's there, but it's a little bit hidden. And this filter tool is, again, a fantastic way of sifting through all the history of communications, because what you can do is you can see all the calls that maybe have been booked in, and you can see in here it filters them out. And then what we might want to do is, if we type in DD, click on, and you can see here it's brought in the content of the actual activity too. So using this filter to get, and you can, the good thing about it is if you've got your email connected up as well, you can actually search the body of the email to pull up anything for this particular contact. So if the discrepancies they phoned up, discrepancies maybe about a service that you sold them, they've told you that they've emailed you, you can come into here. Instead of having event of call, we would have event as email, and then click on search, and it would pull up all the emails with that particular search criteria in. So yeah, you can see here, sorry. So it's a great way of being able to filter out that particular contact, because necessarily you wouldn't be able to do that if, let's say, one of your sales agents was emailing and they had their email integration connected up into Bitrix. It pulls all their emails that are associated to these two email addresses into this activity stream, and you necessarily wouldn't have access to their email inbox. However, because of the great integration between emails in Bitrix and them syncing to the relevant contacts and companies, although you don't have access to their inbox, you have access to the company or contact that that email's gone into, and then you can just come in here and filter out the particular emails. So it's a great way of being able to access that information. We had a question about this actually, sent by Bitrix24. So you can see in here, if you do send emails out, I do believe it adds a sent by Bitrix24 in here. You can actually remove that in, I'd have to remember where this is, but it's in other and other settings. And then I believe it's in activity. And then you can see, so I went into the CRM, sorry if I went too quick there, but if I went into the CRM settings, clicked on other, and then other settings, and then clicked on activity, and you can see here, add sent by Bitrix to the signature of your outgoing emails. So you might want to deselect that. Quite a few people do. They want their own signature in there that they can use. So that leads me on to one of the other questions that we commonly get in with regards to the CRM is, how can you create templated emails in the CRM? Not the CRM marketing, just when you're sending an email from a particular contact, for example. So if you've got your email connected up, the good thing is if I went into Joe Smith here, click into email, then I can use the email address interfacedemo2@gmail.com. This is the email that I've integrated inside Bitrix here. Okay, so maybe that you want to have an email that you regularly send to contacts, to leads, to deals, whatever it is that you wish. So if you come out of here and click into the CRM settings, every user can do this. You don't have to be an administrator. So if you go into CRM settings, click on email, and then email templates. What this gives you is the ability to add an email template. So if I said this was, let's call this Bitrix24 live reminder. And so that's giving it the template a name, and then we can bind it to a particular entity in the CRM. So whatever you bind it to, the template will only be accessible in whichever you bind it to. So if I was in contacts a moment ago, so I'll bind this to a particular contact. And then we can put, don't forget about Bitrix24 live at 10 a.m. EST every Thursday. So we can start to build up our template. So you can see here, don't forget. And what you can do, you can use the editor. So we can style it up using the editing tools, bold and change the fonts and everything like that. However, if you do want to brand this up, switch it to email. You can then just insert your own HTML into here. You can brand it up however you wish. You can put your email signature in here. So you can add a little logo in here if you wanted to. So if I went to, let's see if I can do it, intraphase.com, and let's get the logo from here. In fact, that one's going to be white. Let's have a grey logo, and we'll save it to the desktop, and let's go back to our email template, insert the image here. I think I might need to, yeah, so let's get the actual image. Open image in a new tab. That will give me, in fact it's going to be quite big I think. So you would obviously have to style it. You get the idea. So if I click on save, in fact we can do it, so 20%, click on save. So we can put images in. So you can start to build up your signature. I can put kind regards Andy. But the good thing is with these templates is that we can go hello and then click on the three dots to the right hand side, and you can see here we have access to any field that exists inside the contact. So I can say hello first name, please subscribe to the Bitrix24 YouTube channel to be reminded. So there we go, it's quite simple. Maybe we want a little smaller, and there you go. You can style it up however you wish and make it a bit bold. So click on save. So what that's done now is it's saved that particular template. So if I go into the contacts now and go to Joe, where I was a moment ago, and now go into email, and then where it says template at the top up here, you can see now I've got Bitrix24 live reminder. Click in here, and then you can see we have that in ours just for the testing. But you can see I don't need to do anything. It's as quick as that to be able to then send. I click on send, and then you can see in here it's saved it as the outgoing mail here. So it's quite straightforward. It's quite good to do, especially if you can brand them up. You can just go into your leads. Like I say, you can have those in leads as well. I bound that particular template to a contact, but you might want to do it in a way where you go into a lead, click on email, and then you can see here, thank you, new lead, and it's preset in there. So that's quite a good way of being able to do it. With regards to common question just about email signatures, if you do connect up your email in here, you can set up your own signature. So you can see that's why I keep seeing test 2. So you can actually create your own signature in here, pretty much the same way as what we did. So if you want to set up your signature, I can do that again. Click on here, 20%. And then put my signature in here. So that will then add that to every email that I send out of Bitrix. To connect your email up, it's really easy. Click on webmail in the left hand corner. You'll be presented with this, and then you'll be presented with the following settings here. So you can see in here. And then if you have links to CRM checked, what Bitrix does is just checks all your incoming email. If that incoming email address exists in your CRM, it would take a copy of that email and put it against that particular contact or lead. If you then send an email out from your inbox, again, Bitrix will check to see who you're sending it to, and again, it will take a copy of that email and put it against that contact that you're emailing. It just matches the contact on the email address. So it's a great way of storing historic communication with your clients. If you don't want that, by all means, you don't have to. You can just click off link to CRM and just use it as a mailbox inside Bitrix if you want. If you do select that option of deselecting it, you can always manually save it to the CRM then if you wanted to, and it will push it against a particular contact or lead. However, that if that email address exists inside Bitrix. And then again, you can access any folders again that exist inside Bitrix as well. So if you've synced multiple folders up, you do have the option. If I go into mailbox settings here, if you've got, I know a lot of people obviously have quite a lot of folders that they have in their mailboxes. You can choose which folders sync up to Bitrix. Now in this account, we just have the standard ones. But I know people organise their emails in different folders. That's essentially how you ensure the right figures are synced up into Bitrix. And so probably whilst I'm in here, I don't have any more questions. So if you've got any questions, we've got around about 5-10 minutes left. So please do ask them. So while I'm in here, just the other option of what you have when you integrate your email. One thing to point out is you don't have to use this mailbox. Once you've connected it up and it's receiving your incoming emails and reading your outgoing emails, you can continue to use Gmail, you can continue to use Outlook, whatever email client that you use. Bitrix will just sync those emails in the background. It won't do anything to your current tool that you're using. So it's quite good to have this running in the background. But if you want to come in here, let's just say we have quite a few people that connect support at intraface.com up as an example. So a support email up, because you can connect multiple accounts up to here. And from that, every email that comes into Bitrix, what you can do then is you can actually create a task from it. So you can create a task based on a new inquiry. So you can see here, it's put the body of the email into this additional block. And then you can assign the task to somebody. So if I wanted to assign it to Damien, you can put a deadline on. The normal ways that you can create tasks, this is exactly the same. All it's doing is it's taking a copy of that email and putting it into that particular task. So you can obviously change. You can even use the task templates. So you choose a task template and it will put the email into that particular template and so on and so forth. So it's definitely a good way of taking an email into a task, assigning the task for another employee, and then working your way from that. And you can see in here, we've actually done that already. We click into that task. We can see the responsible person, any deadlines, and the actual email itself. So you don't have to copy and paste from an email into a task. Okay, so I don't have any more questions. I think I'll just put our contact details up. As I've mentioned once in this session already, my name is Andy and I work for Intraface. We are a Bitrix24 Gold partner. We have these sessions every Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you just need to subscribe to the Bitrix24 YouTube channel, and you'll get an email sent to you just as soon as we go live, so you can jump on. Consider it as an hour free support, just answering any questions that you may have, and I can go through them live on screen. If you have questions during the week, send them over to sales@intraface.com or andy@intraface.com, and I can start the next session off on those. We have an office in the US, the UK, and the UAE, and we offer pre-sales support. So if you're thinking about getting Bitrix, or maybe you got it and you were struggling a little bit, then we can just arrange a one-to-one demo to make sure that Bitrix is the right fit for your business. We offer licensing, implementation and installation. So if you're looking at the on-premise, we can install it on your own server. We can install it on one of our servers to host it for you. And we also offer premium support. So ticketing support, chat support, telephone support. We offer all those different features. So yeah, I've got no more questions that have come through. Yeah, you're late, Kenny. I've just about finished now. So I am going to be live on Tuesday, and it's solely going to focus on the CRM. So yeah, we had technical problems last Tuesday, unfortunately. So we've now pushed the remote working sessions to the following week. So you got one question? Yeah, got a few minutes remaining. So if you can get it in quick, then I can answer it, hopefully. So as mentioning, like I say, we're in the US, the UK, and the UAE. So give your local office a call should you need any assistance. I think on the Tuesday, just to point out, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube. It's going to solely focus on the CRM. So everything from lead generation, going through a lead process, generating a deal, and creating a contact, a company, how all that works. And we're going to look at the automation rules as well. So I am going to have to wrap up in one moment. In meetings, when I schedule a meeting, is it possible that other can't invite since I already had a meeting going? Will it be automatic? Yeah, they wouldn't be able to book you in if you were booking in a meeting. So if you were booking, let's just go to the calendar, and if you were booking in a meeting via this method, if you tried to book somebody in that had a time slot over a particular, so you can see here all the red markers for this particular day. This blue option comes here. So the more people that I add into the meeting in here, it would show them their availability. So it's quite good and it's quite clear. It stacks on top of one another. So it wouldn't allow you. So drop me an email, Kenny. You've got my email address. So I do need to wrap up this session. But thank you all very much for your time, and hopefully see you on Tuesday for the 10 a.m. at Eastern Time session, focusing on solely the CRM. So bye for now.